Welcome to Central News for Thursday, the 5th of December. I'm Harriet Wilson. In today's news, the Bay of Plenty District Health Board has become the first DHB to be recognised at New Zealand's toughest and most prestigious Performance Excellence Awards. The DHB received a bronze award for its dedication to best practice achievement at the New Zealand Business Excellence Awards. The Bay of Plenty DHB Clinical Schools Trial Unit also received an Achievement Award at the unabridged version of the Business Excellence Awards. General Manager of Governance and Quality, Gail Bingham, says the unit conducts clinical trials and health-related research projects and is largely funded by trial revenue.
The Clinical Trials Unit has done some wonderful work because basically what they're doing is by having the research, it's set up as a research unit, they're actually bringing new drugs and treatments into the DHB and they're making them available to our patients in a way that they would never before be available. So basically what they're doing is they allow our patients to get new treatments and they also save the DHB a lot of money because the drug companies actually provide the drugs. And it's actually been shown that patients who participate in clinical trials actually have a better health outcome in the long run.
Christmas in the Park is coming to Tauranga and many are said to benefit from the event. Singer-songwriter and Papamoa local Tiki Tane is organising the event with the Little Big Markets, with gold coin donations going to the Kia Trust. Anika Moa, Holly Smith and Anna Coddington will headline the event on the 21st of December at Blake Park in Mount Maunganui, running from 2 till 10 p.m. Little Big Markets' Rachelle Duffy says it's not just the Kia Trust that will benefit.
Basically, Christmas in the Park is going to be an event for everybody. So there's going to be markets, there's going to be carnival area for kiddies, there's going to be the entertainment, which obviously will have Tiki Tane, Holly Smith, Anika Moa and Anna Coddington. And there's going to be food, there's going to be a little bit of wine, there's just going to be something for everyone.
Now for our region's weather. Hamilton, the weather cheers up a little bit for you tomorrow with just a few showers and northeasterly breezes. Your expected high is 24 with an overnight low of 16. Tauranga, the rain also clears for you tomorrow with the chance of some rain and otherwise cloudy periods. Your expected high is 25 degrees with an overnight low of 17. Just ahead, boosting tourism in the Bay. Welcome to Central News on TV Central. Tourism Bay of Plenty has launched a new campaign, Plenty for Everyone. And for the first time in almost a decade, a TV commercial has been produced. So what is Plenty for Everyone?
Well, the Plenty for Everyone campaign is all built in around the bountiful offerings that we have in this region, and it was built off a lot of research we did around what people thought about our region. So off that mark, we've taken off and put the strapline of Plenty for Everyone below Tourism Bay of Plenty logo, and that's the DNA of our campaign.
And how did you guys come up with the tagline Plenty for Everyone?
Well, we sent out into the marketplace research into the international domestic markets, and we asked the visitor. We sent out a number of straplines, about 5 of them, and what resonated with them the most. And those who knew the Bay of Plenty agreed that we were the Bay of Plenty, so Plenty for Everyone sat naturally. So that's how it came about.
What were the other 4?
Oh gosh, I can't remember them, they're beyond it now. I honestly can't remember because of the weight of opinion towards Plenty for Everyone was so overwhelming, they left all the others in the dust, easily forgotten.
Now you're focusing on 5 themes, so what are these?
Well, the idea is that because we have such a bountiful offerings here, it's always hard to actually nail down exactly what we are and what dominates one over the other. So we came about with a campaign that was a juxtaposition, saying that you could dial up or dial down depending on what levels of vacation you wanted. So we focused on 5 themes. One of them was gather, so that's about gathering from the sea or gathering from the land. Again, we are abundant on both sides of that. Wine, for instance, I know we're not famous exactly for our wines, but we have great wineries here. So you can either drink wine on the beach in certain cases, in certain allowances, or you can dine at a vineyard. In the same style, you can be eating fish and chips on the beach, or you can be enjoying the fantastic restaurants. So it was just showing that juxtaposition. The other one was flags. We call it play between the flags. So you can be playing between the flags on the beach, or you can be playing a round of golf at one of our many golf courses. Wander was another one. So you can wander around our many parks and recreational facilities, or you can wander the shops. So again, dial up or dial down that sophistication. And the last one was sun. So you can enjoy the sun by the pool. You can enjoy the sun at the beach. So, yeah.
What does laid-back sophistication mean?
Ooh, that's an in-house little saying we have. It's about laid-back sophistication is about this region being, again, you can dial up or dial down depending on what your preference is. 1 minute you can be just blobbing out on the beach, the next minute you can be going through some pretty special shopping environments in downtown Mount Maunganui or Whakatane or anywhere you want to be. You can dial up or dial down that depending on what you want to do. But also as an organisation, we can dial that up or down depending on what market we're hitting. So if we're hitting the international market, we might dial up the sophistication. If we're aiming for the domestic market, we might dial it down more towards the domestic market, where they're coming here for, just to recuperate, where others are coming here to adventure. Conference, for instance, is a good example of that. Conferencing, people are coming here for that sophistication. So we'll dial it up depending on what market we're targeting.
Is that something that's unique to the Bay Plenty?
Oh, certainly. I mean, I think that the ability to be able to dial up or dial down our sophistication or our laid back, as an example, many destinations in New Zealand have wonderful beaches. Many destinations in New Zealand have wonderful cosmopolitan urban environments, but not many have both, and we have both of those.
It has been almost a decade since the last TV commercial. Why did you guys decide to do one now?
Oh, I think largely it's not cheap to advertise on TVC. However, I think it's the maturity and the time is right for this region to go out into market in a play in the big boy sandpit type of way. We are one of the highest tourism attraction regions in New Zealand, and we have to start acting that way. And so this is a demonstration of that.
Who is the campaign at? Who are you hoping to entice to the Bay?
This one, the whole rebranding and such is aimed at our total market, domestic and international. However, this particular campaign is aimed mainly at Auckland and Waikato markets.
Why is that?
That's where our core market comes from. So that's where most of our visitors derive from the Waikato wide and also the Auckland wide.
And is that people coming here for summer holidays, or?
We in this region again are privileged with the fact that when people visit here, they stay longer than most other regions. So we have holidays here that stay 2-3 weeks sometimes. So it's great for the economy.
There is now a memorandum of understanding with Whakatane Council. So what's that?
Well, Tourism Bay of Plenty has been a partner with Whakatane District for a number of years. White Island is a great asset that draws people through the whole bay, and all we've done now is drawn up a memorandum of understanding, MOU, with Whakatane District Council to help them grow in their tourism business as well. And this is a formal recognition of that, and it's also a financial contribution. So it's a formality, but however, it's business as usual.
Is there a plan to keep the cruise ship tourists in Tauranga?
Well, actually, that's happening quite organically. This year, there's a perception out there that 75% of the people that land here on the cruise ships go to Rotorua. It's actually false. Over 60% of the people are staying here.
Really?
Enjoying this environment.
Coming up next, Firth Primary and their exciting train adventure, thanks to Kiwi Rail. Welcome back. Kiwi Rail ran a competition this year which aimed to get school children thinking about train safety. Room 10 at Firth Primary in Matamata were awarded highly commended for their efforts in creating a video performance highlighting how to be safe around trains. The children have just come back from a train ride as part of their prize. I paid a visit to Room 10 to find out how it went. I'm here with Room 10 from Firth Primary here in Matamata, and this classroom have done very well with a KiwiRail competition video that they made, teaching kids how to be safe around trains. So we're going to find out a little bit more about what they did for their item. So can you tell me over here how long you were working on your performance for?
We were looking at a performance at the start of term 3.
And how long did it take to put it all together?
About 3.5 to 4 weeks.
Fantastic. Now you all obviously had different roles in the performance, so I'm just going to come around and ask you what you did in your show. So what was your role in the performance?
Singing the train song. I was the clicking noises for the train.
Fantastic.
I used the shakers. I used the barrier. I had to sing the train song. I was the passengers in the train.
Cool.
I was one of the passengers in the train too.
Awesome.
I was one of the passengers in the train too.
Lots of passengers.
I was driving the train.
Oh, cool.
I was singing.
I made the clicking noise. I was singing.
I'm going to come over this side.
I was one of the workers that put the lights on, and I measured 5 metres back.
I was on the train.
I was one of the singers. I was the shakers.
So many different things.
I was one of the singers. I was one of the workers that put on the lights. I'm just one of the singers.
I was a passenger that had headphones in my ears.
I was a passenger in the train. I had to do the clicking noise.
Now, as part of your prize, you guys won highly commended, is that right? And you got to go on a train ride. So, can a couple of you tell me what that was like, going on that amazing train ride?
The seats were cool.
Yeah?
Sometimes it tells you where you are.
Wow, like a GPS. Wow.
Cool thing about the train was that the doors were automatic, so you don't have to every time open and close them.
Always use the proper place to cross. The train can't stop. It's a boss. The train looks small, but the train hangs over. There won't be room to duck for cover. No one wants to hear a whack or a threat. Use your brain. Stay off the track. Check. Choo choo. Big train a coming. Woo woo. Quietly humming. Big wheels steadily drumming. Sleigh ride away from the track. Jack.
So I'm here with the teacher of Room 10 at Firth Primary, Leslie Johnston, who brought this whole performance together. So Leslie, can you tell us a bit about how you came up with the song and then how you brought that performance together in such a polished way?
Sure. It started off with us starting to brainstorm some ideas and some words to do with train safety after we'd researched what had to happen to be safe around the tracks. Once we had all the words together, then we started thinking about how we could actually put the performance together. Then we had people who were building the lights and building the barrier arm that was on a fulcrum, so it was a bit of science involved in that. And then we painted and made the train set, and then of course we had the people who did all the singing and acting who had to practice doing that as well. So it was really kind of an integrated unit with lots of different learning things that we were doing all at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, can you tell us about the day when you went for that train ride and how the kids sort of responded to it?
Sure, it was amazing. Never seen so many excited children all at once. So we left here and it was pouring with rain, thinking, oh my goodness, how's this going to work out? And by the time we got to Hamilton, the rain had stopped. So when we got to the the station. We had our morning tea and sang our song on the station, and all the people who were in the station came out and watched us. And unfortunately the train was late, so then we did haka and waiata, and they still applauded and kept encouraging us to keep singing. And then the train arrived and the children were just ecstatic about that. We got onto the train and then we had to sit and wait because the lights were on red and we couldn't go until they turned green. So we sang the songs again and we got out the worksheets that we'd been working on, and then all of a sudden, of course, the train took off and the children were just spellbound, mesmerised by the fact that we were on this amazing, comfortable train and going along so quietly. So it was very exciting for everyone. Then we got to Aotearoa, and the unit that we're working on at the moment is Don't Forget Your Roots, so we were able to look at all the icons. And then we had hot dogs and chips for lunch and then came home again. It was wonderful. We had the most amazing day that you could imagine.
Sounds like it. What an amazing experience for the kids to have.
Just fantastic.
Yeah. Now, overall, how effective do you think this competition has been in teaching children about train safety in a practical way?
It has been really superb. The children have researched, they have learnt so many things. We're still doing follow-up at the moment, and we're just really grateful to Kiwi Rail, who, even though we didn't win the first prize, really wanted us to have a memento of what we had been learning, and so we're really grateful to them for giving us this opportunity. For the children, it was just superb.
Yeah, it really is. Well, thank you very much for having us in your classroom today in room 10, and I hope we hear from you again soon. To watch the video of the children's performance, find the link on kiwirail.co.nz. Just ahead, Ross Patterson on the Western Bay of Plenty. If you have just joined us, welcome to Central News. The Western Bay of Plenty District Council has been recognised as one of the top performing organisations in the country by receiving a Business Excellence Gold Award from the New Zealand Business Excellence Foundation. Hilary spoke with Mayor Ross Patterson.
The award the council won is the Gold Excellence Awards for Business Management. It is an international award, and it is judged on the organisation skill of the company or the council. And it takes a lot to get there. This year there has been 2 awarded in New Zealand, and in the States this year there was only 3 awarded. So it shows you that there's not a lot of these are handed out. It is highly sought after, but it is also hard to achieve.
So the Minister of Local Government said that we need a culture of continuous improvement in local government. Do you think the Western Bay Council has achieved that, and how do you think you've done that?
I definitely think so. If you look at the results of the last few days in news announcements, it's quite obvious that we've got 68 councils. We're the only one gold, Waipara's are silver. So there is the ability for the whole of local government to upskill and become more professional in what they're doing, and a corporate culture and a development through the Gold Awards, Baldridge Gold Awards. I think it's a good way to go.
What improvements has the council made in the terms of strategic planning over the last 3 years?
Well, it's more across the board and everything. I've mentioned those collaboration and the areas of information and management and the corporate structure and the governance side. But this collaboration, there is developing pathways to better engage with our communities. That's what's coming out of it. I think we're more agile and more adaptable now. And I think the other part, the asset that we have, is we have a long-term CEO who gives us stability and focus in this area. So there's about 8 areas that we've actually really expanded on, and I think we've brought forward and has taken us through to the gold situation.
What are some of the cost-effective solutions that benefited the ratepayers of the Western Bay?
I think it's across the board again. It's just better management of time and skills and staff. I think we are more cost-effective now on what we're doing with our rate dollar, getting a better focus there and more efficiencies and just a better outcomes overall. And I think the other thing is we've now got a lot better confidence in what we're doing in local government, having gone through this exercise and now come out the end with the award that we have.
What do you think that confidence will do for the future?
I believe it'll give us better structures all round. I think it'll also give the ability for others to focus on and say, hey, it can be achieved, and here's the pathway, and there is help there to be able to achieve that by learned people coming out of these systems now that know the skills that are needed and can go out and help the other companies bring those skills forward.
Many congratulated the council at the awards on strong leadership. So what do you think that you as the Mayor and the management have done here that makes for strong leadership and sets you apart from the rest?
I believe we have a very strong business relationship between the Mayor and the CEO. Most important, we work with the law of no surprises and totally understand where each other's coming from. I've had a relationship with my Chief Executive for a period of time, but my third term now as Mayor, and I've developed a very strong relationship on the business side. I think it also goes further than that. We are now starting to develop strong linkages between our chairs of our committees and our senior management so that they understand the strategic direction, which is where council comes from, and then we give the direction, and then we stand back and say to staff and the organisations, your role to deliver it. We keep out of the gearbox. Most important that we have a very clear split between those two. But I think one of the successes and cornerstones we have is that strong relationship and governance being in there, giving the direction and working with the Chief Executive.
The New Zealand Business Excellence Foundation Chief Executive Officer Mike Watson said the Western Bay Council is a role model for local government in New Zealand. What are some of the projects or systems that the Western Bay Council has put into place that we could maybe look at doing nationally over local government?
I believe it's that just better integration on information and management so that all of the council staff are working on a project. We're no longer siloed, we work straight across, all areas are linked between each other and have a total understanding of what they're trying to do and achieve. So I think that's one area of delivery. I think there is also the ability though now to take this program out into the other councils of the country. There being 68 of them, well then there's a lot of work that needs to be done, but I think that will be quite cost effective to help lift the confidence in that area and the ability of local government to deliver for their ratepayers and to do it effectively. And I think that's the big aim that should come out of this.
Why is the Western Bay Council so effective?
I believe it's a culture. I believe we have targeted that culture now for some 8 or 10 years. Our staff also took out the business awards for the Australasian Business Management of Local Government some 6 months ago. So I think it's the culture we've got in there and the way we've brought everybody on. They take ownership. They're there for the company or for the council and are looking to do the best they can. It's not a them and us, it's everybody all together.
That is the news for your Thursday. Remember, we love hearing about what is happening out in our communities. So if you have a story you would like to share with us, email it through to news@tvcentral.co.nz. Thanks for joining me tonight. I will be back tomorrow with more guests from in and around the regions. I'm Harriet Wilson. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
This has been an Alpha Media production, a division of Television Media Group.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.